So it's October 25th, 23. Winter has come to northwest Montana. We got our first real snow last night, about 5 inches accumulation, and some sub 10 degree Fahrenheit days coming up. So I think it's safe to say that winter has come a little early this year. Got to get the snow tires on the Sprinter. So for steps, we are going with the Alvan side steps. Here's the box, really nicely packaged in these foam inserts. Beautifully made, all aluminum, so they're not gonna rust. Here's the driver's side step. This is the company Alvan's. They're a pretty good company. They got online instruction videos. You just scan that code and it'll take you right to it. They're on YouTube, of course. Everything is nicely packaged, labeled, the hardware, all that. Very straightforward, simple hand tools to put it on. Anyway, there's the passenger side installed. What I like about these, besides them being made out of aluminum and being pretty lightweight, is the thought and detail that went into this step. For instance, you can see they're a little wider here on the passenger door area. Makes getting in and out of the van much more, well, you know, for vertically challenged people. My wife really has a hard time. She's 5'2". She says she's 5'3", but she's 5'2" in her bare feet. And then this little add-on plate, that's an option. It's got a boot scraper right here. And it's got a little lip here that catches the bottom of your shoe. So it makes getting in and out of the van a little more secure. Go around, I'll show you some of the tools I used. So with most of these steps, you're going to be dealing with these. These are nutserts, rib nuts. I've put in hundreds of these, so this is no big deal. You drill a hole. I believe it is some weird size, 23/64. Don't try to cheat it up in 24/64 or anything like that. Go with the size they recommend, otherwise they may spin. And anyway, I bought a tool here, Astro. Get them off Amazon. They're 80 bucks or so, but it makes putting these things in much simpler process. You thread them on to the mandrel. Oh, and by the way, they come with it's a set, so they got all the different sizes and the tool to tighten the mandrel. Anyway, these cinch down until they stop. Make sure they're threaded all the way on. Insert that into the hole you drill, and then you pull the trigger and it will squeeze that nutsert down. Easy peasy. Again, all the hardware nicely labeled, packaged. So far, I'm not missing anything. They do give you a little bit of extra hardware. I have not used it. Here's some more packaging. So you got your A and your B bracket. These are the A brackets. And I'm in the process of installing the B bracket, the main one that hangs off the bottom of the van. And I will show you what we got going here. So here's the parts pre-positioned. Get on my creeper. So here's the nutserts. As you can see, you drill a hole and you squeeze that in there till it grips, and you'll feel the drill bogging down as it's working to squeeze that. And what it does is it sandwiches the sheet metal here and creates a captive nut. So you can screw right into this thing. And I'll show you one. I've gone back on with POR15 and rust proofed all the areas I drilled. So there's two here and 2 fasteners here. And here's what it looks like installed. So you got a backing plate here, and then I'll show you the other side, but basically your fasteners are going to go in here. And this thing is rock solid with the 1024 fasteners that they give you. Here's your basic tools. So pretty easy to put these in. And there's 3 on this side, spaced out. And you can move them around. You don't have to put them exactly where they tell you to put them, but they basically give you measurements from a point up here on the outside. There's a seam. Measure back, I think, 15 inches to the center of this one, and then another 23 to 30 inches to the center of this one. Like I say, you got to move these around. You got to watch obstacles on the back side here. You see what I mean? There's things sticking up. There's rubber covers, whatever. So, and then on this side is where my this cavity here is where my gray water tank is going. So it's got brackets that are going to connect to the gas tank right here, and then they're going to hoop, and then they're going to connect on this bottom of this sill. So I have to make sure that my bracket for the steps aren't going to interfere with the gray water tank. So that's a consideration. Here's the outside all painted up with POR. These got a couple little dings on them, so I just sprayed them with some more rust inhibitor just to keep the rust at bay. They're gonna rust. Anything under your van is gonna get surface rust on there. It's not that big of a deal. A lot of people go to great lengths to try to protect it, but rocks coming up hitting them, any kind of little chip in this powder coating, and you're gonna get rust. So that's something, if that bugs you, you know, too bad. So I will get these installed and put this side step on and show you that next. So the first step is you kind of hang this by inserting the lower fasteners on the pinch seam, and then you're going to go in back and put this full-length backing plate, which is going to sandwich the pinch seam and give you some pretty solid support right there. And this slides back here thusly. Make sure you get it over the screw positions, and then you just push that through. Oops. Like that. Get it seated. This one's a little tight. I can't do this with one hand, but you get the idea. See if I can get these started. Again, if I had both my hands, I could do this easier, but anyway, that's what you do. You get that in there and started. And then once all the hardware's in place and started, then you torque it down, and you just keep an eye on how you're torquing it, and that's how you put these brackets on. It takes 5 minutes to put one on. And I got 3 of them. That one's in place, I just showed you. Now this one, and then one down here. And then we'll go and put the other part of the bracket on. So this is the A. I think I said B, but I think this is the A bracket. Then we'll put the B bracket on, and that gives you adjustability to move the step in and out, tilt it. You'll see how that works in a sec. So here we are at the last step, and that is attaching the B bracket to the A bracket. I've been saying this backwards during the video. This is the A, the main bracket. This is the little auxiliary bracket that attaches to the A bracket, and then your step attaches to that B bracket. And you can tilt this step and move it in and out to adjust this gap and everything right here. So anyway, the bracket's slotted here and here, and it allows you to move this thing around. to position your step the way you want it. There's the back side, just 2 bolts, and they're nylocks, so they're self-locking, and that's all there is to it. Okay, the steps are on. This is the final product, and wasn't too bad. Like I said, about 8 hours work. I didn't really have any issues. It was a weekend, basically a weekend project, because I was waiting for paint to dry most of that time. But anyway, it all went on very smoothly. Al has very good tutorial videos, and these are very popular, and so a lot of people have installed them, and you can go on the forums and stuff and ask questions. But I don't think it's so straightforward that I don't think most people are going to have any kind of issue. And another thing I did was the wheel and tire upgrade. These are Method wheels, kind of the go-to wheel. These in black Rhino, and TA KO2 all-terrains, BFGs, you know, kind of another go-to tire that most adventure van builders are putting on their rigs. Good traction off-road, good manners on-road, good tire. And I kept the offset and everything basically the same. I didn't space them out more or do any of that, because I'm not planning on a lot of suspension stuff back there behind the tire. So I have plenty of clearance right now with these. And these are 255/70 R17s, and they easily clear. They're only about 3/4 of an inch taller than the stock tire. So I didn't want to have any issues with modifying the mud flap with a TerraWagon kit and all that. I don't want to make more work for myself. So I'm trying to keep this van simple, lightweight. Those are my overall goals. Have on there just what I need, and don't put on too much that I don't need. Not a lot of bling on this van. And another modification I did, just because I got a good deal on this thing, is a TerraWagon air dam to protect the leading edge from rock chips, and creates a airflow that is supposed to deflect bugs and small gravel over your windshield. As you can see, your windshield, it's just a big flat windshield, so it gets it. But anyway, I'll be installing a lot more parts during this build and releasing some more videos. And if you like, you can kind of follow along. There's a shelf full of parts up there: max air fan, water pump, electrical parts, etc. And over here, these are sidewall and ceiling panels. There's the Lavero dry flush toilet. Plywood back there for making cabinets. I got prefab cabinets back there that I'll be building out and staining and installing. Here's my Engel refrigerator. This was from my previous van. Good solid all-terrain, used in the outback in Australia. They swear by these things. They were made in Japan. I think mine was made in Japan because I bought it back in 08. So but I heard they moved their manufacturing. I don't know if they're still good, but they're legendary bulletproof refrigerators, Engel. So anyway, that's this video. I will be releasing some more, and you can follow along on the build. So if you like, check back on the channel from time to time, and I will be putting out new videos on just an ordinary guy with you know, some skill. I'm not a professional, obviously, and I see a lot of people building out vans that look like they've never held a tool in their life, and they're doing just fine. So it's not rocket science. It is some work, and you know, there is some frustration and involved. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think that you know, based on my previous experience with my 08 build out, I think I can do this. And so if you like, check back and follow along on the build. See you on the next one.